South African universities are an absolute mess, and I know that I'm going to take a paneling for this online. But we need to have an honest conversation about what is going on in our higher education sector. Now, we know for certain that our SETAs are an absolute hotbed of corruption. Nothing good ever goes down in those places, and no real educational training actually occurs, or hardly any at all anyway, certainly not for the amount of tax money that's being spent on them. We also need to have a look at the mess that's going on in our universities. And people are going to turn around and say, yeah, but Aidan, UCT is amazing. No, UCT actually isn't amazing. We keep patting ourselves on the back for mediocrity. That may or may not be the best university that we have left in South Africa, but it's gone down, it's slid. From one of the best universities in the world, something like the top 200 or whatever it was, all the way down to 12 to 1500th in the world. It's so lousy that it doesn't even get an exact ranking anymore. The quality of the students that they produce is lower, the research has gone down, the quality of the lecturers that stay inside the system has declined, and that is the University of Cape Town, the best that we have. We have to have a look at the broader system, and we have to have a look at all the other places in the country, like the University of Fort Hare, a mafia-captured fake degree printing mill. People are getting murdered there. They have to go around with bulletproof jackets and bodyguards. They make fake degrees for politically connected or politically elite connected individuals, for ANC cadre deployed friends, for oligarchs, for all that kind of rubbish. Such dubious shenanigans that the whole university has been dragged into disrepute. And it's not just the University of Fort Hare where these problems are going to be occurring. I've heard rumours about UKZN, Rhodes University, and a whole bunch of different others, and you can bet that it's going on in some of the bigger institutions and organisations as well. They are completely economically misaligned. They produce students that cannot find work or jobs anywhere. And not only that, but they send a lot of these students out with student loan debt, which I think is incredibly irresponsible. We need to really have a look at what is going on in these organizations when you have leaders that get paid 2, 3, 4, 5 million rand a year as vice chancellors. And the universities are protesting all the time. The students are bitterly unhappy. Graduates can't find work. They can't retain good lecturers any longer because the working conditions have fallen apart. And it's not just the universities that are to blame. The government has turned these organizations into what I call managerial institutions. The academics and lecturers hardly have any power at all anymore. They just get abused by the system. It's become a place to put fat, bloated cadres in middle management. The same as the police, the same as all kinds of state-owned enterprises. But universities have been a favorite place to do this kind of thing. And again, I know I'm going to get smashed, because you have fond memories of your time at university, or you have some nostalgia around your university education or university days, if you were lucky enough to get one. But when we really look at where the state of South African universities are now, it's practically impossible to get a global level, world-class education from one of these organizations. I know, I've spent a ton of time in them, and honestly, things are really, really falling apart in almost every aspect, and I believe that we are going to continue to see a growth or increase in student protests and in disgruntled staff members. We need to look at our university and higher education sectors with the same kind of suspicion that we are now treating the healthcare sector in South Africa after the revelations around Tembisa Hospital and those mafia-style wealth extraction networks that are connected to all our political elite. We need to rescue these institutions and protect them, because they are to a certain extent the backbone or driver of certain elements of the economy if they are run properly. We need to take these organizations back for our next generation, and we need to rescue them for the absolute mediocrity and mess of corruption, scandal and mismanagement that is going on in them now, before they become unrescuable like the SETAs, because they need to be scrapped. I'm wishing you all the best, because we all need it. I'm Aidan Brown. This is the Main Stage Podcast. Thank you very much for joining me.